just touching a little on those various quotes around the same principle in meditation, which unfortunately is one of the hardest thing to grasp for most people attempting to meditate, as it goes against the normal way of the mind, which as such likes to be busy and think and reflect on everything to get somewhere, to reach something. But in meditation, and to get really far or deep, one needs to really realize that notion of let go. And as it has been mentioned other places before, or explained in different ways, as summed up by the main word we use called equanimity, upekkha, you have to become just a neutral witness, which means exactly to detach the brain, the thinking brain, and emotionally from whatever happens, appears, is felt. And it goes back to a quote that I had made, which is that notion of doing the least will bring the most, which of course is again quite the opposite of what you are educated about through that modern society that teaches you to have goals and being ambitious and stress at work to reach again those goals, and the material goals associated with the notion of success. Well, in Buddhism, of course, the notion of success is quite different and the opposite of that, which is not an outer success, material success, but rather achieving that peace of mind and harmony within. And that again can only be achieved when one has managed to learn to relax completely, accept, surrender to reality, and let go. Of course, it is different from tending to everyday life basic things. For that, one needs the brain. But again, if you actually create a quite simple life, there is not so much to tend to. And if one knew again how to go back to the most basics of life, then that doesn't require much, at the same time as that gives you enough time to just practice, as to sit down and relax and contemplate and just stay within, where at the end that will bring you so many things beyond that regular life, beyond the basics, beyond that 3D world that we live in and that the brain is conditioned to focus on and deal with in a stressful way, and always try to figure out something. And of course, some quote also like this one mentioned the other side, which are the two main defilements of the mind besides the base of illusion, ignorance, which is either the greed, the ambition, the lust, or the aversion, the hatred, the jealousy, the vengeance. And at different degrees, most people still operate at that level. Many times in a sneaky way, that's why it doesn't seem like a big deal or like a bad thing but still, most of the time the thinking mind is based on greed or aversion or craving or desire. And again, it's just to point that that notion of doing the least will give you the most, that becomes just too abstract in a world, a society that's all about the outer world, the materialistic things, even in social connections. It is very, very difficult to grasp that abstract notion of doing nothing, thinking about nothing, will actually fulfill you at the end to an extent that you can never imagine before. But that is the point. So if you really commit to practice seriously, you really have to learn to let go a lot like that, and not trying to focus the thinking mind on something, and rather let go, let be, and let things come up naturally, and as they come, to still be able to keep that mindset of equanimity, let it happen for what it is, not freak out, not be worried, and especially not to try to figure out again why, where does that come from, what does it relate to, all these kind of things. That overthinking mind is the hindrance, the barrier against the progress on the path to the ultimate peace and harmony, and to the path of enlightenment. Because it is when we become nothing that we can reach enlightenment. The complete drop of the notion of me, self, ego, conceit at the end. And all that can only happen when one manages to just drop that thinking mind, reflecting mind, emotional mind,